Vera Ellen captivated audiences with her lithe figure, radiant smile, and legendary dance partnership with Fred Astaire in classics like Three Little Words and White Christmas. But behind the scenes, rumors swirled about the silver screen starlet's struggles with anorexia, premature aging, and later reclusiveness. Join Facts First as we explore the rumors and uncover the truth about the iconic dancer and actress's triumphs, challenges, and lasting legacy. Dance talent and appeal. From an early age, Vera Ellen's natural dance abilities were evident. Born in Ohio in 1921, she first took ballet lessons at age 9. Her teacher and mother quickly noticed her outstanding aptitude and skill. By 12, she had become the star pupil at a prestigious Cincinnati dance school, known for picking up routines with ease and impressing crowds with her exuberant performances. Her talents continued to blossom as she further honed her skills in tap, jazz, and ballet. She secured a spot touring with the Broadway musical Very Warm for May in 1939 at just 18 years old. She earned praise from New York critics for her triple threat singing, acting, and dancing abilities. Her early success secured her a film contract soon after with Samuel Goldwyn Productions. It didn't take long for Vera Ellen to demonstrate her versatility and appeal on the big screen. In Wonder Man, she dazzles next to Danny Kaye with an animated, high-energy dance number that highlights her limber movement and comedic timing. A couple of years later, in Words and Music, she starred alongside a dance icon in Gene Kelly, matching his athletic style step for step and showcasing tremendous stamina. Of course, there was also 1949's On the Town, where she taps up a storm alongside Kelly and Frank Sinatra with precision, grace, and pizzazz. As one of only 6 dancers talented enough to partner on screen with both Kelly and Fred Astaire over her career, Vera Ellen combined elite skills with a magnetic, joyful screen presence. Yet her most well-known role came in 1954's White Christmas, playing alongside Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye as one half of a sister dance act. In numerous show-stopping numbers, Vera Ellen mesmerizes with her versatility, whether gracefully twirling across the floor or nailing rapid-fire tap combinations with a captivating mix of elegance and power. Her relationship with food and body image. Vera Ellen's complicated history with food and striving for bodily perfection seemingly stemmed from a young age. As a promising dance talent, an extreme emphasis was placed on maintaining a very slim physique by her instructors, and especially by her mother. Though strict diets were common for dancers then, the intense focus on thinness came to profoundly impact Vera Ellen's habits and body image for life. When she first began intensive dance training at around age 12, Vera Ellen was immediately put on highly restrictive diets by her mother and teachers, who closely dictated everything she could eat. Meals centered around only raw fruits and vegetables, with no treats permitted. In later years, Vera reflected that she felt controlled by food from this formative time in her dance studies. As she continued rigorous training through her teen years, the external pressures only escalated. Daily weigh-ins were enforced, with scoldings if she fluctuated even slightly above her sub-110-pound target weight. Vera Ellen became anxious about eating, even as she coped with the physical demands of long rehearsals and performances. The message was clear early on. Extreme discipline around food and thinness was mandatory for any chance at success in dance. After breaking out on Broadway, reviews commented extensively on her weight and tiny waist size rather than the incredible singing, acting, and dancing talent she displayed. It reinforced the notion that a slender, boyish physique was a requirement for a rising star. When Hollywood came calling shortly after, the external pressures on Vera Ellen's figure reached new extremes. As one of Samuel Goldwyn Studios' most popular young talents, she was closely managed by executives, publicists, and wardrobe staff. Special lighting, padding, and costumes were employed by productions to conceal any slight weight fluctuations and present an exaggerated slimness on camera. Throughout her peak fame in the late 40s and early 50s, she maintained a rail-thin physique as she continued coping with body image issues rooted in her early training. Sadly, as she aged and the dance roles dried up in the late 50s, the long-term food and body image struggles took a greater toll. Some close to her suspected she alternated between extreme dieting and uncontrolled binging habits, further distorting her self-image as her weight fluctuated significantly. By the time she passed away, at only 60 years old in 1981, her once envied slender figure had withered away. The mystery of her neck in White Christmas. Of all the rumors tied to Vera Ellen over the years, one of the most enduring involves the conspicuous coverage of her neck throughout the 1954 hit film White Christmas. In every scene, Vera Ellen wears either a choker necklace or a high-necked costume that fully covers her neck in décolletage. This fashion choice sparked waves of speculation that she was hiding skin prematurely aged or ravaged by eating disorders. But a closer look suggests the reasons were likely not so ominous. The most popular explanation put forth is that her neck showed clear visible signs of aging, wrinkling, and vascular damage from years of extreme weight fluctuations and eating issues. Some claim makeup artists on White Christmas informed Vera Ellen that her neck skin looked decades older than her 30-something actual age, so strategic turtlenecks and chokers were used to conceal the skin, betraying her still youthful appearance. But professional portraits taken just before and after filming seem to dispute this rapid aging theory. In photos from 1953 and at the 55 Oscars, her neck area still appears smooth and youthful, without any signs of wrinkling or pronounced tendons. Her slim figure also looks relatively consistent in these time frames, not showing any obvious signs of recent weight loss. Another common explanation is that unflattering lighting tests revealed her extremely slender frame looked bony and aged under the cameras. Self-conscious about her prominent anatomy, strategic high-necked costumes were then suggested to conceal the harsh shadows. Yet Vera Ellen had endured similar lighting and cameras for years, and the films immediately before and after show her neckline without issue. There's a chance the concealed neck simply became her trademark look in White Christmas by request. Her shy, innocent character was meant to portray the more modest sister to Rosemary Clooney's worldly star persona. Perhaps the costume department leaned into this contrast by covering Vera Ellen up more. Still, just months after filming, she again wore low-cut dresses on the red carpet. Despite many rumors that swirled around her life, those closest to her paint a kinder perspective of the beloved star. While acknowledging her struggles over the years, friends praised her warmth, generosity, and loyalty through turbulent times. While more private and guarded than her outgoing film persona later in life, those in Vera Ellen's inner circle fondly recall her fierce loyalty as a confidant through the years. A few have disputed she became fully reclusive as commonly believed, maintaining that while always avoiding the press, she still regularly met close friends for quiet dinners and holidays. Most poignantly, though, her only child Victoria has offered the most intimate perspective of her mother off-screen. She dispelled exaggerated myths of a frail recluse often assumed about her mother's last years. She shared beautiful memories of family trips, thoughtful handmade gifts from her mother, and quiet visits filled with optimism and laughter. Now it's time to hear from you. Beyond the rumors and tragedies, what do you think was Vera Ellen's most iconic contributions to Hollywood's golden age of musicals? Let us know in the comments section below.